Hello, hello. Okay, here we go. It's August 1st, 2015, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. First, I'll get the business stuff out of the way. We have our album A Line That Connects coming out in August. Pre-order is already available at Thrill Jockey, and you can go to handmadebirds.com and also find links there. And signed copies are also available at project.com, 100 copies. We also still have our Silverleaf single that we did with Black Mare, and that's available through Magic Bullet. And you can get signed copies of that at hellomerch.com along with our t-shirts and some of my books, and you can bundle things and blah blah blah. And other than that, I guess let's get to the questions. So question number 1, equipment stuff. Okay, so several people had questions about equipment, and I actually went ahead and asked Mike, since I'm not the music person. And okay, somebody asked what drum machine we used on Cold, and that was the SR16, and Dave used an ASR10 synth. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so he also used an Ibanez, and he used a Lexicon LXP, a Digitech GXP, a Kawai K11, and a Kawai PH50. Dave used an ASR10 synth and Prometheus. And if there's other stuff, I don't know, because I haven't talked to Dave. So that's that for equipment. And Carolyn asks, gonna ask a basic question. How did the band get started? I wasn't in the band in the beginning, but I know from hearing lots of stories that basically Mike kind of got tired of working with other people. Things fell apart, blah blah blah. So he started recording his own stuff, and Lycia was born. Brett Helm asks, Grease 1 or Grease 2? Really? Really, Brett? Do you need to ask? First of all, I hate musicals now as an adult, but as a kid, I did very fondly watch Grease 1. It was on like every summer, I think. So I guess I'm going to have to say Grease 1, especially since I have not seen Grease 2. I don't know what that says about me, but that's my answer. Okay, Eddie Thorne, my beloved Eddie Thorne. You probably already got this one 100 times over, but here goes. What media do you both think the sound of Lycia best captures your sound? Vinyl, cassette, disc, or digital? I don't know. Probably not vinyl, because both of us are weird and we don't like all the weird pops and noises that you hear in vinyl. Cassette, no. So, I don't know. I guess digital, because it's the closest to what it sounds like when you record it. I can't speak for Mike, but I'm pretty sure that's what he would say, considering we were like, I mean, cassettes are, no. So I guess digital. I'm making this way too complicated. Allison, when am I going to see you guys again? Well, whenever you come back to Phoenix. Okay? We'll make that happen. What is my favorite Lycia album, and why is it Cold? Cold isn't my favorite album, but it's hard for me to pick a favorite album. I always kind of say it's Ionia, because Ionia is the one that brought me to Lycia. So for me personally, I have to say Ionia, but as far as like the music goes, it's kind of hard to pick because they're all different, and it's kind of like, I know everyone says this, but it's kind of like picking your favorite kid. They all are different and they're all very special for different reasons. So that's my answer, which is kind of not an answer. Sorry. What is my favorite moment on stage? Probably the last show that we really did, the one that really kind of clicked, I guess. Irving Plaza was really cool. It was just a really, first of all, it was a beautiful place to play. And I don't know, it worked. That night worked. And it kind of like felt like going out on a high note. Lip gloss. Okay, sorry, I'm weird. So I guess Irving Plaza, it just was a really, like, the sound was good, the crowd was awesome, we kind of knew that that was it for us, so it was like bittersweet. Mike was really, really sick at that time, so we kind of knew that that was going to be it for us as far as live goes, so it was just kind of sad, but awesome at the same time. And I have to say, it was kind of bizarre after so many years of kind of playing to like indifferent crowds or even kind of hostile crowds that, you know, hearing people yell, "We love you," kind of was nice. Ego-y boost kind of thing, I guess. Let's see. I want the albums, especially those you are in. Well, thank you. What should I do to have them? Amazon has everything as far as I know. So there's Amazon, Handmade Birds, Project, random places on the internet. So that would be my answer. Let's see. Okay, if there was one song from your back catalog that represented the heart and soul of Lycia, which one would it be and why? That's kind of hard for me to answer because I'm pretty sure like I would have a different answer than Mike or Dave. Gosh. For me, I guess it has to be maybe The Morning Breaks So Cold and Gray. I think that song is perfect. It's warm and cold at the same time, and I don't know, I've always really, I can't hear that song without crying, so I guess that would be my choice. Like I said, everybody else would probably have a different choice, but that would be mine. Drew asks, Tara, who might be some artists who you would like to contribute as a one-time collaboration? You know, it's hard. I don't really do music that much anymore, and so mostly it's Lycia related. I mean, it's hard to say because since I don't do music that much, it's like I kind of have to balance my time. And there are some people that I would always work with if they asked me, but they're people I've kind of already worked with, and I don't know, I don't like naming names, it's kind of weird. Like I would like to do some more stuff with, I don't know, I'm not going to say because I don't want to look like a jerk or a weird or something, but I don't know, if people ask, I'll give them an answer. Yes or no. Usually it's no, just because I don't have time, but, you know, no offense to anybody. No questions, just thanks for being the music I listened to when I had nothing left, and thanks for responding personally at the time, which I'm sure you don't even remember. Scott, I may not specifically remember the conversation, but I know your name, because we talk on here, so I appreciate that meant something to you, and it honestly means a lot to me because I like people and I'm a people person, and if I could make someone feel good even for a minute, that really means something to me. So I appreciate what you said here, and I'm happy that I could give you some sort of relief, even if it was briefly. So thank you. Okay, the quality difference between the original release of Lycia albums and the remastered versions that came out a few years back, especially Burning Circle, are night and day. I'd love to hear some insight into the process of the remastering that made some of my favorite albums sound new again and better than ever. Okay, so I asked Mike this question because he's the one that remastered them, and his answer is that he's not really sure that the remastered versions are better than the originals. They're just louder, and there's a certain thing that happens with your brain when you hear something louder. You interpret it as being better, but it's not necessarily true. So the answer is that they're louder. So that could be good, that could be bad. You could have probably achieved the same thing just by turning up the old ones, because sometimes I guess dynamics are lost when the volumes are turned up. Anyways, he also says that mastering is an art form and that he should have left it to a master. So that's that answer. How was it working with Type O Negative? I kind of get this question pretty often, and the answer is rad. However, I didn't actually go in the studio with them. I recorded in our studio and sent the files to Josh. So it was awesome getting that opportunity, obviously, and really awesome. But I never actually got in the studio with them, which I probably would have been absolutely terrified to do, truthfully, because I'm used to working in my little tiny studio with nobody looking at me. And I'm pretty sure I would have been very intimidated being in the studio with those guys. But it was very cool. And the time that I did get to perform with them was pretty awesome as well. And they're super nice guys. Okay, does Mike ever plan on doing more solo stuff and or Bleak? I asked him this question, and Bleak, absolutely not. The name is dead. But that doesn't mean that that style isn't going to be visited on occasion. But as far as solo stuff, he still does like ambient music, but he's not sure that he'll ever get back to doing another solo ambient release or not. Right now, he's kind of over music because we just finished the album, and you know, that was a big project, and so he's not even thinking about what comes next right now. So that's that. What was the first bar and band lineup you played with? The first bar, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if you mean like the first Lycia show, which was at a thing called A Night of Beautiful Noise, and it was just Mike and Dave. And it was a festival here in Phoenix. As far as the first band lineup, I guess I just answered that question too. It was originally Mike and John Fair, and then I don't know the exact order. Mike and John Fair, Mike and Will Welch, Mike, Mike and Dave, Mike, me and Dave, Mike and me, Mike, me and Dave. So there you have it. When will the Burning Circle be released on vinyl? You need to do your Sandinista album. The answer would be never. Mike says no. And basically, so many people ask us to do vinyl, but then when the vinyl came out, like, it's still sitting there. So if people want more vinyl, they're going to have to start buying vinyl, because we don't like the idea of somebody spending money to put out an album that just sits there and they've wasted money producing it. So the answer is, if people really want vinyl, buy the vinyl, and then we'll think about doing more. Sorry. You guys gonna tour? No. Never. Not gonna happen. What is the main emotion, main drive, and expression you both seek to convey in your music? Basically just honesty. Like, whatever comes out, comes out. So, there's never any preconceived or contrived message or thing that happens. Like, you know, there's never any, this is what I want to achieve with this album, or this is the theme, or whatever. It's just whatever happens, happens. So honesty. So what you hear is the reality. I mean, none of that is a put on. If you hear, you know, everything is cold, everything was cold. So it's not like a put on. My answers are so dumb. I'm sorry. Any future solo releases by you, Mike, or Dave? Me, probably not. Mike, maybe. Dave, probably. Are you going to make a box set? Okay, so I asked this question, CDs or vinyl or whatever, and I got a few different answers here. And I will say that I didn't even ask Mike this because I know his answer would be no. I kind of don't see the point, really, of a box set because, I mean, people won't even pay 99 cents for a download of one song. I really don't think people are going to spend what it would cost to produce a box set. I mean, I know there's a handful of people that would, but would it be worth the cost of manufacturing? Probably not. So, probably not. Sorry to the like 3 of you that want this. On average, how long does it take for the music to go from paper to recording? Also, is there any improvisation involved with the recording process? David. I asked Mike this question, and it really just varies because, you know, some songs come immediately, some songs take a while of tweaking. As far as improvisation, no, because we're not an improv band. Obviously, when you're in the studio and you're working, you know, you're writing a song, you weave and move until you figure out what the song's going to be. But once that song is written, there is zero improvisation. I would say that Mike is very mathematical when it comes to recording. It's precise and it's mathematics, and that's why I kind of have a hard time with it because I'm like so not math. But no, there is no improvisation in Lycia at all, ever. Like, and especially when we played live, like there was never any, let's tweak with the music. That did not happen. Good question though. Let's see. My friend's been really turned on to you lately too since I've been taking him out to clubs. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tamika, I hope I said your name right. Why do you feel your music is not played on MSM? I assume you mean mainstream media, but I'm not quite sure. And the answer is probably because there's no money machine behind Lycia, and there never has been. That's pretty much why you don't hear any decent music on mainstream radio, because the only stuff that's being played is stuff that people are throwing money behind. Or we just suck and no one cares. There's that possibility too. I mean, realistically. Let's see. Thanks for all the vinyl comments about people wanting vinyl. That's cool. Again, you heard my prior answer, but thank you for wanting it. How do you pronounce Lycia? Lycia! But I think it's like Lycia in real life. But we've heard like Lycia. We call it Lycia. And I know it's not right, but that's what it is. Jen Phillips, thank you for your comment. Jesse, can I smell your dick? Well, no, because I don't have one. But you're silly and funny. Also, I think a collaboration with Eva O would be amazing. Eva's rad. I like her. She's my friend. Do you guys record at home, on your own, or in a local studio? We record at home. Always have. When will I receive CD and postcards signed by Tara and Mike as I promised? I really don't remember that. Please jog my memory. Because I normally don't promise things like that if I am not going to do it. So please refresh my memory on that. Please. Thank you. Okay, that was the last batch from those questions. Let's go to the next bunch. Ken Champ, when can we get nachos? One of these days. Where do you go to get nachos? Baseball game? Suns game? I don't know. One of these days when we actually venture out of the house. Lip gloss. What's going on over here? Is this just glare? Classy. Rachel, when's the world tour? When Dirk takes over the band and tours with his young batch of bandmates and we're retired. I'll sell merch. That'll be fun. Drum machine on cold. SR16. La 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 la. What's your favorite moment in Lycia history and your least favorite? It's hard to pick a favorite because there's a million good moments. For me personally, I guess it would be doing the tours and stuff where we got to go out and meet a bunch of people and see a bunch of places I never would have otherwise seen. I really loved the tour camaraderie with our cohorts and the other bands that we toured with, and just seeing all these places that I know I never ever would have had an opportunity to see, and meet so many people that I never would have had a chance to meet. And I mean, obviously recording music is awesome, but it's also painful for some strange reason. I guess because I always think I could have done better, or I never quite captured what I wanted to capture. But it's all good. My least favorite, business bullshit. Label bullshit. Stuff that's out of your control that there's nothing you can do about. That would be my least favorite part. Frankie Fuller, what was some of your favorite bands while going on tour in the 90s? What are some bands that you enjoy listening to of the current time? So some of my favorite bands in the 90s, we loved our Burning Circle tour with Trance to the Sun. That was a lot of fun, and really loved playing with Attrition. Martin was an awesome guy, and they were great to tour with. I think musically we fit really well together, and we were very fortunate, the bands that we got to play with and become friends with. And I enjoyed always when we got to run into Faith and the Muse, and they were always really fun. Gosh, I mean, basically everyone we played shows with were great. Yeah, everybody. I mean, everyone was cool. Type O Negative, obviously those guys are nice. Yeah, I guess that sums it up there. And as far as what bands what are the bands that I enjoy listening to right now? I really like Ides of Gemini and Black Mirror. Of course, that's both Sarah's projects. And Sarah's going to be singing on the new album with me, which I was very excited by. And Pyramids. And I don't know, I just listen to the same stuff I always listen to for the most part. Check out my Pandora page, because it's all kind of on there. I guess that's a boring answer. I don't know. La la la. Okay, here's another question about playing shows. I know from the previous session that Lycia won't do any concert tours anymore. Would it then be an option to record a live concert in some kind of studio and release that on DVD? You know, Mike and I do toy around with recording some performances, and I would say that that is going to happen at some point. It's not going to be anything like fancy or whatever, just kind of like probably just released on YouTube kind of stuff. But we do have plans to do some kind of